Hello everyone, it's Pixel again, and this video is going to be another fanfic review. This time it's going to be another MLP fanfic, but this one, well, to me at least, is a classic, which is Rocket to Insanity. Now, first and foremost, disclaimer, I own nothing. Everything belongs to the rightful owners, so please go and support them and be nice. And warning, the story gets very gory, so viewer discretion is advised, please. Anywho, a little history with this fanfic. Now, when I first found out about the 4th generation of MLP, I came across if I remember correctly, it was a video titled Cupcakes. And I guess that's how I discovered the story that it was based off of, and eventually I discovered Rocketed to Insanity. So yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen this. So yeah, this is a sort of what-if fanfiction if Cupcakes was just a very vivid and horrible dream that Rainbow Dash was having. But enough of me rambling. Let's get on with it. First and foremost is the summary. Rainbow Dash has been having the same nightmares for weeks, and it's starting to wear thin on her psyche. Can she separate subconscious fantasies from conscious reality, or is she doomed to break herself under the shoes of hysteria? And this story actually has a quote, which is, sorry, I just thought I saw something. There is evil within the hearts of all ponies. Such is the balance of nature. Good can only be prevailed for so long before evil musters its forces and seizes upon the heart, twisting friendships into war, loyalty into deceit, and kindness into unadulterated hate. This fanfic starts with Rainbow Dash waking up from a nightmare, and basically the nightmare, like I said before, the nightmare that she's been having for quite some time is, well, the nightmare about cupcakes, because even though, and Dashy seems to recall all of it. Like, although she does tell herself that Pinky would never be capable of doing those things, it doesn't help make the dreams less vivid. And Rainbow actually hasn't told anyone about this, because, well, nowadays I'm actually a bit confused. I'm actually confused why she didn't tell anyone, but there's a sort of answer later, and this is taking a toll on Rainbow's life. Her work is suffering because of it. And the nightmares have become so powerful that she's afraid to go to sleep. And she even, on some nights, stayed up the entire night just to not go through the horrors again. which is leading Rainbow to sleep mostly in the day. But even though for a while she feels safe in the daytime, but her subconscious fears still creep into her dreams. And Dash knows that this isn't healthy, that this really, and yeah, it isn't healthy, and it's obviously not good for her, since, you know, she feels like she's losing her mind. Yeah, she knows that this isn't healthy, since it's breaking her mind down because of the horrors of her subconscious mind, that no one should ever have the slightest thought of, and it's beginning to chip away at her psyche, and she's starting to crack. So the next day, Applejack is looking for Rainbow Dash because she was supposed to bring some rain clouds over to Sweet Apple Acres for the trees, but Applejack at first asks anyone around Ponyville if they've seen her, and they haven't, so Applejack angrily stops by a tree and finds Rainbow sleeping, and Rainbow Dash asks Applejack why she's interrupting her napping and what's so important. And AJ reminds her that she was supposed to bring a little rainstorm for the crops at Sweet Apple Acres, but instead she finds her sleeping in a tree. Rainbow does meet Applejack on the ground, but AJ notices that Rainbow looks a little sickly. Her mane is a mess, she has dark bags under her eyes, and Rainbow and AJ asks if she's okay and says that Rainbow looks a little under the weather, but Dash just says that she's fine. But Applejack seemingly scares her when she asks if she's sure about that, and Rainbow tells her not to touch her and insists that she's fine, but before she can tell Applejack anything else, she immediately takes off flying, and Applejack just figures that there isn't something right with Rainbow, that the story then shows another terror-filled night with Rainbow curled up on the floor of her house. Apparently she seemingly had another nightmare about what happened, and you know, like needles being, you know, like, and Rainbow breaks down crying, telling whatever's going on with her to just leave her alone. And she begins pounding her hooves at the sides of her head and even ends up bruising herself. So, and from that point on, it's another night and another crack in the window. And everyone notices what's going on with Rainbow. The way she walks, the way she talks, her body language just screamed it. And basically at this point, Rainbow Dash is gone. She's basically become a somewhat hollow shell of herself. Because the weeks of interrupted sleep is starting to take its toll on her. Her friends know something is up, but they sadly don't know exactly what to do to make it better. And Rainbow had pushed them away whenever they tried to comfort her. Anytime they tried to console her or tell her that she needs to get help, and some say that she's too proud or she's too headstrong to do it, but they don't seem to realize the gravity of the situation of what's happening with Rainbow. And sorry, I just bumped the camera. Until one day, sadly, Rainbow finally snaps. And the next day, Rainbow is invited by Pinkie Pie to Sugar Cube Corner. Since Pinkie's been noticing that Rainbow hasn't been feeling so good lately, she thought that she would cheer her up. And also to have some fun with her, since she invited her to her house. And Rainbow asks what exactly she wanted her here for. And Pinkie Pie presents a tray of cupcakes, which Rainbow immediately freaks out over, since they look the same as the ones in her nightmares, which sends her into a panic attack. And Rainbow backs away from Pinkie, begging to be let out. And Pinkie is mildly confused by this, since she's like, because I'm guessing that she wonders if she did anything wrong, or if if Rainbow Dash doesn't like these type of cupcakes. And a voice in her head tells... let me rephrase that. A voice in Rainbow Dash's head tells her to run. And she smacks the plate of cupcakes out of Pinkie's hooves and tells her, I know what you're doing, and it's not going to work. So Pinkie cleans up the mess, and she wonders if Rainbow doesn't like avocado icing, and says that she made other flavors so they can find one that she likes. And But she sees Rainbow Dash just curled up in the corner, and Pinkie honestly doesn't know what to do because, well, Rainbow's been hiding what's been happening to her these past few months, weeks, for quite some time, and Pinkie genuinely seems not knowing what to do. She doesn't know what to do or why Rainbow is suddenly scared of her. Dash tells her to get away, and she starts having flashbacks of her being flayed open. And she begins, and I quote, she begins to see Pinkie as no longer a lifetime friend, but rather as a horrific, sadistic butcher. And Rainbow then spots a knife on the counter, and the voice within her mind whispers for Rainbow to kill her. But Rainbow is hesitant. Dash hesitates because, well, despite everything, this is still her friend. And her mind is basically the nightmares of cupcakes. And to me, at least, and this is just my opinion, I am so sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that, pardon. As I was saying, the nightmares of cupcakes seem to be, at least to me, although I could be wrong, they seem to be overpowering and overshadowing Rainbow's memories of her friendship with Pinkie and the fact that she knows Pinkie. But the voice tells her to take the knife. And Rainbow hesitates, but she eventually takes the knife. And she points it at Pinkie and she tells Pinkie Pie to just leave her alone and to get away with her, but Pinkie is a bit scared at first, but she thinks that it's just some prank, but Rainbow then cuts Pinkie on the cheek. And Pinkie is wondering why Dash would do that. And Rainbow tells her that why couldn't she have just stayed away? And the voice continues to tell her to kill Pinkie, but Rainbow tells the voice no, she's my friend, I can't do it. But the voice argues that the hurting will stop if she does so. Rainbow Dash pleads with Pinkie Pie to run, to just get away from her, and begs for the voice inside her head not to make her do this. And Rainbow she starts kind of mentally battling with herself. Because what happens next is a blur in her mind. As she then attacks Pinkie and starts stabbing her to death. And Rainbow Dash screams, "Why couldn't you just go away? Why did you have to keep coming back? Just leave me alone." And she succeeds. Well, succeed isn't. I don't think succeed is the right word for this, because Rainbow ends up killing Pinkie Pie, and once she's done, she then Rainbow comes to her senses and looks down at what she did, and she's like, "Oh no, what did I just do? What have I done?" And she starts sobbing because, well, she just killed one of her friends, and she then drags herself away from Pinkie's corpse, and she slowly, and of course she gets more of the gravity of the situation of what she just did, because, well, she just, like I said, she just slaughtered one of her friends, and also this causes her to retch up her guts, and her sanity at this point is slowly being plucked apart until the final thread snaps. And this story ends with this. Hooves grasped at her head, matting her rainbow-colored maiden down with blood. The Pegasus rocked back and forth in the blooded kitchen with a crazed grin spread across her muzzle, humming disjointedly to herself. And basically she starts singing, the Giggle at the Ghosty song in a rather insane and creepy manner. Dash threw her head back, clutching legs against her chest as forelimbs wrapped around them. Psychotic laughter issued forth from the speedster Pegasus as her world shattered around her. Psyche and spirit broken and splintered. Whoo boy. So that was Rocketed to Insanity. Now, I will admit, this was one of my favorite stories, like my favorite horror stories about, well, in MLP fanfiction, because, well, I guess at one point I was kind of thinking, like, what if Cupcakes was just a dream? Like, what if it was just a dream that Rainbow Dash was having? And because in the original story of Cupcakes, Pinkie is the one who's carrying out these acts, and in the end she wins, but in this it's Rainbow who, well, I don't think, well, that's kind of the only way I could describe it, is that in this, Rainbow does win. Only it's not what the type you would think that, oh, she manages, because, like, if that was still in the Cupcakes universe, like, if that was still, like, Cupcakes, then Rainbow, everyone would think, oh, she managed to get rid of Pinkie because of, the basement and what she was going to do to Rainbow, but that isn't the case in this story, because Rainbow's psyche is being chipped away at, and she sees Pinky as Pinkamena from her dreams, which I'm guessing is that what I think at a time people called her that whenever she, like in the story of Cupcakes, like, you know, when Pinkie Pie's hair deflates like balloons and it, you know, straightens. But yeah, like, but one thing I like about this story, despite Rainbow's, like, well, at first, despite the nightmares, she still considers Pinky her friend since she's hesitant to kill her and tells the voice that, no, she's my friend. And there's also another scene, like, during where Rainbow is killing Pinky, we actually get some insight on Pinky's thoughts as she's wondering what she could have done that made Rainbow so unhappy. Like, was it the icing? Did she put in salt instead of sugar? Like, because Pinky is obviously very confused. She doesn't know the whole situation of what Rainbow was going through because she never told her or any of her friends about what's going on, and Rainbow seemingly didn't get help. Now, one thing I like about this story is that like, it does a good job of making you feel bad for both characters. Like, you feel bad for Rainbow because, well, she feels like her body isn't her own anymore. She's not acting voluntarily anymore. Her mind is proceeding, is making to her Pinky look like the one from her dreams. And Pinky is trying her best to cheer Rainbow up, even though she doesn't really understand the full extent of what's going on with her. And yeah, but despite her not understanding what's going on with Rainbow Dash completely, or realizing the gravity of the situation that Rainbow is going through, she does still try to make her feel better. And there's actually something, I'm guessing a sequel of some kind that happens after this, because that involves the Apple family. But I think I'm going to save that for another time. And also, I might actually talk about the alternate endings, because there were some alternate endings to Rocket to Insanity that were made, and I might actually do a review on those someday. And because there's actually a comic that's based off of this fanfic, and I might actually do a review on it. Yep. And also, I also like the detail in this story. Like, you really see, you kind of get an idea, despite Rainbow, like, there's no telling if Rainbow, like, if there's some part of her that is not telling anyone about this because she's too headstrong or too proud to admit that something is that she has seemingly a few screws loose, to say the least, since she's going crazy. And also, this fanfic has some, I won't lie, it has some really good fan art based off of it, and yeah, and the comic is actually really good too, and so is the alternate ending. But yeah, I kind of would have liked it a bit more if, like, maybe we would see some glimpses of the rest of the main six, like, but then again, beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, this fanfic is really interesting, and it actually, in diving into the psyche of Rainbow Dash ever since she's been having the nightmares, cause apparently she's been having these for a month, and when the story starts, this is the 7th one. And it's always been the same one since, well, yeah. It also does a good job at showing what's going on in Rainbow's mind. Like, you can get a good visual of what Rainbow is going through and what each scene is like. So yeah, all in all, this was a interesting story. And yeah. So yeah, that's all I have for now, but I do plan at one point, I might do the alternate ending in the comic as well, but regardless, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!